Before we dive into today's episode, we just wanted to remind you to subscribe on Patreon. You can support us over there from as little as £3 and you will get a bonus episode once every 2 weeks. You'll get early dibs on future live shows and you'll get access to all the filmed and audio versions of previous live shows that we've done in Glasgow and Edinburgh and London. We're also at the Fringe this year, aren't we, boys? Me and Mark are doing a full run with our new shows, brand new material from last year. We'd love to see you there. Stevie, you're doing a selected dates, right?
Selected dates, 6 dates, 3 from last year's show, 3 new work in progress shows.
Something old, something new.
Absolutely. And we're also doing a Some Laugh live show on the 20th of August at Monkey Barrel Comedy. Tickets are still available for that, but are going fast, so do snap them up if you'd like to come and see it. It's a late night show, lots of fun, get some fun guests and fun plans for that one. It was great fun last year. I'm really looking forward to doing it again.
Fun cutting loose, won't it?
Yes, cutting loose.
20th of August, we'll be right in the swing of things by then.
Yes, Some Laugh, uncut.
Live and uncut.
Uncensored.
We're all going to have tape over our mouths.
Yeah.
We'll be saying
All that
things we
stuff
can't
that
say.
Steve ends up getting bleeped out, you'll hear it live.
You'll hear it live. Nae bleeps live.
Nay bother. Easy peasy.
Yes.
Yes.
But, hopefully see you at the Fringe, guys. See you over on the Patreon. And aside from that, enjoy today's episode.
Enjoy the episodes.
Welcome to the Some Laugh podcast.
It could be like, oh, that was some laugh, or there was just some laughs.
Some laughs.
Well, no promising all laugh.
No, there's going to be some.
It's some laugh. Because that's like the big difference with headlining a club in the UK versus in America. Is like you'll do an hour headlining a club there, whereas here it's like you do maybe 25 minutes at most. And so I guess like there's an incentive in America to like get a club hour together, whereas here it's like most people's hours are like more fringy.
Totally. I mean, like, I don't even think people think of, I guess people do think of working on their hour, but I think it's much more fluid for club sets. Like, you might have an hour and a half of bits that you're working on here and there, and then like you're just swapping it in, you're swapping it out based on where you are, based on like what you want to work on that night. Yeah, and it's like our hours are not shows. Yeah. Our hours are just a big basket of jokes.
Yeah. But then a lot of people film their special and it's just like an hour of bits, but then it's like, you know, as long as it's all funny and then it's like, you know, I guess it's the difference, isn't it, between like a sort of one person show versus just a straight hour of stand-up.
Totally. I mean, I've had people be amazed when I say, and rightly so, when I say that like my hour that I do on the road there's like 2% overlap with the solo show that I did at Fringe last year. Yeah. And to me, I'm like, oh, it's because they're 2 separate concepts entirely.
What would happen if you try to do your hour? Like, is it cause like there's the bit the
you mean if I tried to do my solo show at,
like, so say you're in fucking Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Dumping your trauma in Nashville.
Yeah. If I lock the nice people of Nashville in a room and then I say, let's talk about infidelity, and it's gonna get kind of sad about my dad at the end, and you paid $15 to see
and you don't
an
know
hour
who I
of
am.
comedy. Yeah, you don't know who I am. You didn't come for me. You're just here to have a nice time, and then we're gonna talk about our feelings.
And then, because obviously in the Edinburgh Fringe shows, like the 45-minute mark is usually when you bring in the sad part or whatever, but is that not exactly when like they all get the check?
That is a sad part in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, people get to cry. People get to get in touch with their feelings, feeling broke. Yeah, it depends on clubs. Different clubs handle it differently, but yeah. It is the ones that do checks at 45 minutes is the ones that like really make a show out of it. It's painful
because a lot of our listeners won't understand that there is a big difference between club comedy in Britain and America, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, over there, I think the MC is like the least experienced person, right? A lot of the time.
Except in New York. In New York, MCs on showcase shows are like strong MCs. But like we don't have the word compare.
Right.
I don't understand. I still don't understand.
I only heard that the first time I ever went to a comedy club, and I never liked using it because I never
Feels
understood.
very old school, doesn't
I
it?
never understood what it meant when I went, and so I always think people probably don't know what this means.
No, I don't know what it means.
No, I don't know where it comes from.
Just the way it sounded fancy, isn't it?
Do you mean compare saying I'll be your compare for the
Sometimes,
evening?
but
Yeah, it's crazy.
I like it when they say I'll be your host and compare.
Host and
Same
compare.
thing, buddy.
You know? Aye.
Yeah, now you are just showing up.
Yeah.
There's no distinct, you know what I mean, like role between the host and the compare. It's just the same
What is?
fucking
I don't know what the word compare is.
I
It's
probably came
French.
for like fucking
I think it's
vaudeville
really
or
old
something,
school, yeah.
didn't it? Like it'd have been some old school. I'm to compare.
It's something your granddad would say to you like that.
Yeah.
Like
It's
I
old
had
school.
literally never heard the word. Yeah, I don't. Host is like an entry point for us
Right.
in most clubs, other than in New York and LA. But also New York and LA clubs operate differently. Like New York and LA clubs operate in showcase styles, sort of more similarly to your clubs.
Yeah.
But most clubs throughout the country, like I came up in Minnesota, which is in the Midwest, in the middle of the country, like Fargo. I didn't come up in Fargo, but that's the like place that I'm from. And it's like the host does 10 or 15 and they're the newest. The middle is 20, 25.
That
They're
just
the
seems
next up.
crazy to me.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, it means so you
Who's that good for?
absolutely nobody, not the audience. I guess it's good for the host.
But when think back to when you first started and you were shit though, and you're like, it's a terrifying thought.
I
to
was
go
never
up
shit.
first.
I was
Yeah, I'm
always-
sure
yeah,
you
yeah,
weren't.
yeah.
I was.
Yeah.
But you know, like to go up first and have the whole night on you.
I think you don't even feel the pressure of that because it's just so normal in the system.
Right.
Now it's more that now I come out and headline. So like if I'm headlining clubs around the country, I have to sort of brace for the host being really bad.
Wow.
And oftentimes they are. And oftentimes the middle will be bad. The feature will be bad.
It's all on you.
And then it's like, well, now these people have watched 45 minutes of truly dog shit comedy. And I come out and it's like, I've just spent the first couple minutes being like, yeah, you know, like I can't say I saw that too, but sort of giving the
Nods
vibe
and
of
winks.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no break in between these people,
There's
is there?
no break. No, it's usually like table service.
That's mad to me.
Yeah.
That's long to go on after. And because, do you know, the comparison that's kind of similar what you're describing is like, see when you headline like a new act night here, like Red Draw at the Stand, right? And it's sometimes like if it's been not the greatest night, and then you go, and I always feel like you could do the same stuff in the same club that you would use on a weekend, and at least it will start a lot more badly because like I feel like their expectations have dropped so much, and then they just go, oh, well, this guy's probably shit as well, and then it's a hard gig.
You don't feel, I feel like when they've watched a ton of shit comedy, I always love being like, come on, let me at them. There's so much in this crowd that
Can
you
go
can like
either
crack
way,
It
I
at.
can
think.
go either
Yeah.
way for sure, but so at least you're sometimes starting on the back foot a wee bit, but also the opposite is
The
like,
second you have one punchline, they're like,
She knows what she's doing.
they're like, we didn't know this was possible.
yeah, exactly. No,
This is what we've heard of in comedy.
but that's the thing, because when you're watching somebody dying before you're going on, you never quite know. You're either going and when somebody's killing as well, you can either ride that wave going into it.
Oh
or,
yeah. I always feel much more nervous following, like in a room that's hot, when the audience is hot.
Yeah, I feel
then I'm
worse
like,
in that situation.
because then it's like, if I don't do well, then it's definitely
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm the same.
It's not them at all.
I want someone to have a 6 out of 10 gig and then me have a 7.
Yes.
That's all I want. And
Exactly.
go home, get
Exactly.
chicken.
Yeah.
But there's different energies as well, because if you're following something that's really high energy and you're not, like, then it's, it's just a different thing they're doing. And
Yeah.
it's like, there's obviously people that are hard to follow, and like people that do musical
Mm-hmm.
stuff now, and it's hard to fucking go in after that and just talk.
Yeah.
Do you know
But-
who I hate following is when people cover like edgy subjects. Like no matter what their takes are, and if people are up there talking about Israel and trans stuff and
Well,
everything,
we
and then,
done
and then I go on and
preview
like, why is he
together.
talking about his fucking bedroom? Like,
Do you
what the
ever
fuck?
do you talk about it? Do you acknowledge it? Do you say like,
you got
I'm not going to talk about Israel anymore. I'm going to
But
talk about my
everything I
bedroom.
say just sounds so pointless after that. Do you know what I mean? Like, why is he talking about himself?
Are you
What-
describing the preview we done 2 weeks ago?
yeah, in a way, yeah. It wasn't an example in my head, but yeah.
What was the preview?
Well, we just done a preview and I was talking about that shit.
Yeah, he's,
yeah.
he's going on about American politics and that, and I'm talking about
Yeah.
dishwashing.
Smart guy, dumb guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's why it
smart.
works.
You need you do need the dumb to open, and then the smart to
But Stuart's
to close.
not dumb, he's just too scared to give his opinions on this stuff.
Steve wasn't around. to
Steve
throw
wasn't
him, so-
around, unfortunately. Yeah, I know. Nor is he here, by the way, we should say as well. Because people of our Patreon will know that you done a live show in London
Yes.
last year.
Yes.
Which is fun.
I
Unfortunately,
made a
Steve's,
lot of enemies.
yeah, unfortunately, Steve's not around to ask you which US talk show hosts are cunts.
Did I can't remember. Did I answer honestly?
I can't imagine so.
No, because you said they were nice.
Yeah. That's not honest.
But no, that was fun, wasn't it, that night? And
Yeah, that night was great, and I
in London. But that was obviously just after the Fringe last year, and you'd come over obviously doing your show last year, and you've subsequently obviously maybe spent a lot more time in the UK back and forth than you had done previously.
Yeah.
So what's your perceptions
I got
of
trapped?
Yeah, exactly.
one of your people, not one of
ours, but
not one of your.
Well, it depends.
Yeah, well, it depends how you look at it.
How do you pronounce your name?
Stu. Or Stuart. How
Okay.
does Stu do it? I just call him what I call myself.
I
For
mean,
the
I have
listeners,
had
Chloe's
to
boyfriend is called
practice.
Stuart.
Yeah, my boyfriend is named
Would you have said Stuart?
Stuart,
Yeah.
and I have had to practice saying Stuart.
I like
That's
Stuart
the best
or
I can
Stu.
get.
Yeah, no, that's
Stu.
pretty good to be fair. But I always just take what I'm given. But
But that's
people
literally
not from
a
the
year
UK
of
really
practice.
struggle. I was in Oslo a couple of weeks ago, and they did not know what to do with me.
Yeah.
It was in a restaurant, and the system was there. Like it was outside. They had to shout the names, and like my girlfriend's food came, she ate it, and then after about an hour of waiting, I was like, I've got a pretty bad feeling I'm Schlu here. There's been a guy running around shouting Schlu for about 45 minutes here.
But so that does it annoy Stuart that you say Stu?
He doesn't. One time I was like, "What if I call you Stuart?" And he said, "Well, that's not my name." So then I started rehearsing. But no, it's mostly that he introduces himself to my friends, and I have never heard an American. I've never watched an American understand the word he's saying on the first try.
It's terrible.
Stuart,
It's awful.
and everybody goes, "What?"
Yeah.
And it's such a normal name.
Yeah.
Also, it's not very American. Like nobody is named Stuart in
No.
America.
Stuart Little. That's the only point of reference.
And isn't he British?
He certainly dresses British. I don't know.
I can't remember.
Yeah, is the mouse American? I don't know.
I don't remember. It's one of these ones that's so big you'd think it's ubiquitous, but probably is. Who does
the voice of Stuart Little? Written by M. Night Shyamalan. Stuart Little.
That's crazy to me.
Mental.
The movie.
Yeah.
Not the
I didn't even know there was a book. I think.
Oh yeah,
Is
it's
there
like
a book?
isn't it a children's book from like the 60s?
Maybe, probably.
I think so. M. Night Shyamalan.
This is why we
Starting
we need a producer in the corner googling all this
Yeah.
unsubstantiated shit that we talk about.
Yeah.
But so, well, I think I would think it's quite endearing, right? See if there's another way to pronounce Mark, which I don't believe there is. I think it'd be quite nice if I had like somebody for America, and like I would just like see it as a nice wee quirk that they would have their own way of pronouncing it.
He met my parents like a week and a half ago, and I was like, "There's no, they are just saying hard Stuart, like an ugly pronunciation of the name." And I just was like, "There's no way to save this. I'm gonna let them go."
It's not as bad as Craig. That does my
Craig's the
fucking head
worst
in.
one.
What is that all about, man? Craig Ferguson.
Do you know about this?
Wait, how do you pronounce
Craig.
it? Craig.
Craig.
Craig is how it is said.
Craig is a totally different
Craig
word.
Ferguson.
Aye.
Yeah, that's good.
But Craig, where he's got Craig, it's not like.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Aye, there's no E and two G's at the end.
Anyway.
It's
I
insane.
dated a Craig.
Craig. Did you? Or did you date a Craig? Where was he
Craig.
from?
Minnesota.
No, you can call him Craig. That doesn't bother me.
Craig. I learned that for
Craig.
South Park because there's a Craig in South Park, and I was like, "What is this name?" And then it turns out it's Craig.
Craig sounds horrible, doesn't it? It sounds like a rock formation or
totally.
something.
It's a. Well, isn't Craig a rock formation?
Oh, maybe, yeah. Yeah, it probably is, actually.
Like it's craggy? Oh, no, but that's craggy. Craggy.
Yeah, it's not Craigie.
Craggy.
Anyway, forget it.
That's a big deal. Meeting the parents for the first time. How did that go?
It was good. My mom started...
I would also say Stu, sorry to cut him, but he's a very British man, I'd say.
A very British
English man.
Yeah.
Yes. But my parents are over the moon to have me dating a
cartoon
Brit.
English guy.
Yeah. They think I'm so sophisticated. No, my mom, we were sitting on the couch, and my mom just started kind of out of the blue shit talking my exes, which was very funny. I mean, and made him feel great. She was like, I think that guy was gay. That guy wasn't good enough for you. That guy was... That's really fun. I was like, awesome. She loves him.
Like, watch your step, or this will be how you'll be spoken about.
Yeah.
That's cool. I spoke to you last year because your folks were like kind of hippies, and they were into TM.
Yeah.
Transcendental Meditation for people that don't know, because I'd done a course in it last year, and then you were saying you kind of got raised doing it and stuff like that. What was it like growing up? Like, so would you meditate like every day and all that kind of stuff?
Twice a day, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it twice a day, 20 minutes? Is that yeah.
I don't think I've managed to do it because they told us on the course I've done you have to do it twice a day. I don't think I've managed it once ever.
Yeah.
I've never done anything twice a day apart from brush my teeth. I don't think.
I do.
Too much.
I've meditated once a day. I don't think I've ever managed it twice.
Have you managed multiple days in a row?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
For like the first 2 weeks after I'd done the course, then I
Yeah.
dropped
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't keep up with it now, which probably my life would be better if I did.
Yeah.
But I don't. But I like was raised, we like meditate as a family. And if we like went over to visit people, like family friends, and we're like going out to dinner, it would be like, well, we're all going to meditate and then we'll go out to dinner.
Wow.
I'm just laughing at the idea of meditating with my mum and dad. It's the craziest thing I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, think about sitting
Imagine
everybody
your
in a
dad
couch.
meditating. Scottish dad meditating.
In
Fucking
Fife.
hell. I know, fucking hell.
Yeah, what would be
Was-
Scottish meditating?
I don't know, it would just break out into shouting after a few minutes, I think. No one could handle the silence, I think. Was there a culty element to it at all?
Not for me. There is like in the world that we're in, like it can get weird for sure.
Because TM, I like the idea of TM, and I've flirted with it, but it's got a kind of Hollywood thing about it, doesn't it? Where you got to pay, and it's like a thing.
Totally. And there was like a fracture in the scene in the 90s. Or in the like, basically my parents came through it in a like religion way.
Yeah.
And that's what I was raised in. And then there were people who like, I think there was disagreements about people who wanted it to be like more expensive and make money for the movement, and then not. And my parents were on the not. And yeah. No, it's like, I don't know that I would like it if I got into it now.
Yeah.
Because now it's just sort of like stress relief, and Jerry Seinfeld does it.
Yeah.
That was literally how I got in it. I watched a
Seinfeld.
video of him talking about it, and then, but the thing that he said about it, which I do think is good, is like, he was just like, well, what do we all need? We need energy. And he's like, if you just it's like they call it deep rest.
Yeah.
And then like you do it is like a good wee nap, basically.
Yeah.
And then you wake up and you feel refreshed. Whereas like if you actually just go and try and have a nap, often you get restless sleep or whatever. Whereas there you just do it for 20 minutes and I'm always refreshed after it. So in that way it's good. And then, I'll try and get into being more present and, transcending. But, usually I'm just thinking about, I shouldn't have said that to that person or whatever.
Right.
And
you got to focus on the mantra.
You need to focus on the
return
mantra.
to the mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I find it hard. The mantra, I found it hard because I'm like focusing on the mantra. But I almost feel like when I was just before I'd done it, I would sometimes try and meditate and just breathe. And I found it easier focusing on the breathing. Whereas I think the mantra now, I'm just doing it, but then it's like I'm thinking of that, but then all the other thoughts are still coming in.
Oh, then focus on the breathing. Do what works for you.
Right. Okay. So you're telling me to go against your religion, basically?
I'm saying, yeah. I'm saying we're wrong. We
Right.
don't know what we're talking about.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I've tried it either way, but it's good. I do like having it because sometimes if I'm just trying to get sleep at night or something, I'll just start.
Does it
thinking
help?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, that's
Just
good.
having something. So I would recommend it. But it was interesting when I done it because they showed us all the videos of Maharishi
Yeah.
talking and stuff, and it's like one of him in Mallorca, and I was like, well, I've been on holiday, but at one point
I did miss the end of that sentence.
I've
Maharishi.
been there on
sorry,
holiday.
vacation for you.
No, wait. What did you say?
I
Him
said-
in Mallorca.
in,
Mallorca.
in Majorca. And,
No, it's funny because you say it just how we say it, but I'm like, I'm white knuckling it
You're
through the
overthinking
Glasgow
it.
accent.
Can I know you by the end of the episode, can I just say by the way another thing that Americans say similar to Craig is Ibiza.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I only thought that was Jennifer Lopez getting it
No,
wrong
no,
in that
no,
song.
no.
That's what you say, is it? All right.
I think we now it's Ibiza,
Yeah,
but it's not even. I think it's Ibiza. I think everybody's saying it
yeah,
wrong.
probably all saying it wrong to be fair. Yeah.
Also, anybody who says Ibiza is, I'm like,
That's like everyone in Britain, by the
Every
way.
we all say that. So it's great.
I've already made enough enemies on the live podcast.
It's not like on Barcelona, you know.
That's
it's
what
like,
that's
yes,
what it sounds
yeah,
like to
yeah.
us.
Right,
To
okay,
Americans, it
yeah.
sounds like saying Barcelona,
Yeah, that is annoying.
and it is like, shut the fuck up.
The rules with that are so inconsistent, aren't
Well,
they?
that's because the logic would fall because we say Ibiza, we should say Barcelona,
Yeah,
but we don't.
No.
yeah. To us,
In
it's
Britain, you do whatever makes you not sound like a wank. That's the rule.
but saying Ibiza makes you not sound like a wank.
Somehow, yeah.
To us, it sounds like a wank.
Yeah, Ibiza.
Do you say douchebag?
Not really. That's very
Not really
American.
a
Yeah,
thing,
sounds like a douchebag to us.
Here's an American
Saying
word
Ibiza.
I wanted to ask you about
Yeah.
because although I do know you a little, I went on your bio on your website and I learned some stuff about you. And this is a horrible
Never say
word.
we don't do our research,
Yeah,
by the
no.
way.
I scrolled right to the bottom of that one page.
Yeah.
And horrible word to hear in my accent, but in there you say that you go dumpster diving.
Yes.
Is that a real thing?
Yes. Are you asking about the word or me doing it?
No, I'm more interested in the
How do
activity.
I pronounce it?
Ben raking, we call it.
Ben raking.
At my school.
It somehow sounds more extreme dumpster diving than bin raking.
Oh, that's funny. And to me, bin raking sounds insane. Bin raking sounds like you're really like getting all the bottom. I do go dumpster diving in grocery store dumpsters for
Oh,
food.
so like stuff they've chucked out around the back.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Is there no name for it? Is it like
Freegan.
a freegan?
That's the the technical term.
If you want to get technical.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to get academic about it, freegan. But like freegans are people who don't eat. Basically, they're vegan, and that's
Until a leg of lamb falls in front of them.
safer. I think
Is that the
real
theory?
freegans are like we eat free and we're vegan.
Right, okay. I thought it was like, I'll be vegan, but if there's roadkill, I'll have it.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
I'm not sure.
That's like
Basically-
finding a needle in a fucking bin stack.
I know.
Gorgeous phrase.
Wait, what's the phrase again?
A needle in a bin stack.
That's an old Scottish phrase.
A needle in a
Well, it's
bin stack.
And a haystack is the
Yeah.
actual term, but I've just...
He's having fun. He's having fun over there.
Sorry, I wish that I could get these jokes in real time, but I need them to be basically like I have to go back and like read the
Back 15
subtitles.
seconds.
Yeah.
It's like when you read Shakespeare and you need to do the
and then you look at
things in
the
bottom.
asterisks on the side. Yeah. Now, what does that mean?
Right, tell us about this then. How did you get into this, and what's the benefits of bin raking, as we would call
The
it?
benefits
Free
are
dinner, surely.
you love it's free, and the thrill of the hunt. And I hate grocery shopping. I
Right.
hate making choices like that. And so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
garbage just gives me the choice that I need to make.
And do you do this in New York?
The best thing
Wow.
about New York is that the garbage is right on the sidewalk. So you don't have to go behind a locked fence. You don't have to do anything.
I've seen
The
recently...
poor people who have watched both episodes of me. I mean, the thing is that this is really who I am. Like this is
There's no
the-
shame in it.
They'll be
fair
loving it.
representation.
I mean, listen, if our listeners do not relate to bin raking, I don't know what they're going to. Because I seen this recently, because the mayor in New York, that mad guy, Eric Adams,
Yeah,
is it?
he sucks.
He just released that they were going to start using actual bins in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was astonished that was a new thing.
I
yeah,
know.
rather than putting
They've
bags
invented
right on the
bins.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, because that's, you see that, so in like,
You're
say,
welcome.
say in the city centre and here and in Glasgow and stuff, the like pubs and clubs will put all of their trash, to translate for you,
Thank you.
out onto the street, and then they get picked up at night. But that's what everybody in New York does with all of their rubbish.
Yeah. Sometimes
crazy.
some neighborhoods have bins, but yeah, for the most part, it's just right on the sidewalk.
That's crazy.
I think it's better when it's right on the sidewalk because then you don't get like shit that gets caught in the bottom of the bin. You just put all the big bags out.
Right.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty nuclear way of dealing with that, though.
Yeah, that's like it's like the Victorian era, and they'd throw their piss out the window and all this shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was benefits to
That's
that
how
as
we
well.
that's
but
how
no.
we pee. Yeah. Pee in the street.
So you just be like, I'm hungry, I'm walking down the street, there's a rubbish bin.
I mean, I
Open it.
specifically go to grocery stores.
Oh.
Is this something you do on the rig?
Yeah.
Right, so because
Love
they've
it.
got a lot of waste, like because they need to chuck
I got a
out
lot
stuff
of
if it's like about your date
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Oh,
so
you'll
that
open
stuff.
you'll open a bin and it's like the most beautiful produce you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, who's getting married today? This banquet that
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
laid on for me.
But that's true because I used to work in a supermarket, and you would always need to chuck loads of stuff out
Yeah.
in a compactor, and they would just get crushed. But I think now they
It
all
is a
have,
shame in it. You got to give it to
I
someone.
think now they've all got schemes where they need to give it away and stuff here.
A lot of places do still just compact, but so I find the like fancy grocery stores, and then I go, you go to the like you type in health food store or whatever, and they're throwing out insane, expensive stuff. And is it warm? Sure. And is it covered in slop? Often. And is it touching something moldy? Maybe.
What's your favourite thing to get? Like a sandwich or something? Or?
What are you really rubbing your hands together hoping for when you open that bin lid?
One time I found olive oil, and that was amazing.
Really?
That was that was precious.
Pretty expensive in this economy,
Yeah,
olive oil.
exactly.
We've got too much olive oil because
Yeah,
we all
we-
went to the shop and we all bought olive oil.
I'll take
Maybe
some.
give you some to go, yeah.
Yeah,
It's got a bit of mould on it though. Is the thing, but-
yeah. Rub some trash on it for me, and then I'll take it.
Wow. Because there was another, like, because there's a thing as well, like, where there's like the reduced section, so stuff's going out of date that day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I remember when I worked in Asda, they would be like, it was maybe like 9 p.m. or something. They would reduce everything down to like 20 pence.
Yeah.
And there was like a gang of people who were there every night who were just waiting for
Yeah.
like the
That's me.
Legends.
20 pence sandwich or whatever. But that was like their lives.
Oh,
And
totally.
I
guess
do get
it's-
the thrill of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, you feel like you've discovered
Yeah.
some like life hack that nobody else knows. I spend so little money. It's
We
great.
should try this later, Mark. I mean,
I looked up dumpster diving in Edinburgh last year that I came, and it seems like there's one Waitrose where there's it's good.
Well, do you know there's a bin strike on during the Fringe this year, so you'll be loving
This
it.
year?
Yeah. Because the bins aren't
Is it
going
at
to
the
get
like
end?
Christmas Day for you, Chloe. when that binge strike.
It's everywhere.
I think it's going to be during it because this happened 2 years ago as well.
I'm only doing the first 2 weeks.
Well, you might get lucky and get some.
Come on, garbage on
You're the
the
only person in this
street.
city that wants the binge.
I'm pulling for it. I love going through garbage. I love finding something. Like I love finding a diamond in the rough. Why do you think I'm dating Stu? No, I love the satisfaction of like I hate waste. It's so funny because it's like it's not environmental for me at all. I don't give a shit about the climate. Really can't get it up for the climate. And,
Sure.
And I understand that other people like it is bad. It's very bad. The situation is bad. I'm glad that somebody else cares about it.
The last time
not
I had
me.
you on, we
You're still doing your bit.
literally had a climate scientist.
Yeah. And
Shout out Matt Winnan.
and I'm so glad that somebody like him is in charge of it because
Well, he's not. I don't think he's in charge of global
yeah,
warming.
he's in charge. He's made this all bad actually. He's pulling the lever down and
But
pushing it back
I
up.
sort of think we're fucked anyway. So you know.
I know that's the problem. Yeah. And that's a bad attitude and whatever. But it means that like, great, if I dumpster dive, I'm helping the client. You know, I'm reducing waste and I'm like pulling.
You're doing
stuff
your
out.
bit.
Yeah, I'm doing my bit.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's like how I.
And then I put my recycling straight into the ocean.
yeah, just to even it out. Because I learned oat milk is better for the environment recently, which I've been drinking a lot.
Then what? Cow's milk?
Yeah, apparently.
Cow's milk?
Yeah, there you go. You're learning. That is totally incidental to me. Whereas I know that avocados are really bad for the environment. I'm still eating them.
I
Do you eat
just like to-
almonds?
And no,
Good.
are they bad? For
They're
think they're
bad.
really- I think
Apparently, there's a
they're
lot
really
of
bad.
water used
Yeah.
in their production. I just like to pretend the fact that I don't have a driving license is an environmental decision. So I take that as a lot of credit in the bank.
Do you drive at all?
No.
Have you ever?
Went behind the wheel twice in my mum's car when I was 16. Never again.
Wow.
Terrible. Nearly
No?
drove us into a canal.
You drove
Wow.
into a canal?
No, nearly did. But she was not a calming presence. We were not transcendental meditation people at my
Yeah.
home. It was stressful. So I just take that as like, well, if I don't drive, then I've got a bit more leeway, right?
Do you
Give me some
bike?
plastic straws, huh?
Do you cycle?
I do actually. I just got a bike recently.
Great.
I like it. Yeah.
How do
that
you
was
get
also
around-
on your bio. You like to bike.
Yeah. I bike everywhere.
You're a proud cyclist,
Another thing that it's like.
despite hating the environment.
Yeah, exactly. It's I just like do all this stuff that is incidentally good for the climate.
Yeah, it's good.
It's fine with me.
It's better if you enjoy it then, like, you know, then you're just like, well, this is the sort of person I am.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people cycle
Yeah, I don't
in New
pretend
York?
to be a good person. I
No,
think
no.
I say I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
And then if any benefit comes out of my existence, it's all, it's all gravy. It's all upside.
Do a lot of people cycle in New York? Is that a big thing there? Because in London, it's quite big, isn't it?
Well, you can't be on the pavements because they're full of fucking trash. So
It's true.
May as
Aye,
well
right enough,
cycle.
aye.
Yeah. And sometimes I thought you were talking about it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I think people bike a lot, but like I would say I bike more than anybody I know
Yeah.
personally.
Well, how have you found then? So, right, to go back to this, how have you found the UK, particularly like when you've been spending more time here in recent years because of Stu?
Yeah. Stu.
How have you found it, like in terms of just like the cultural differences and things like that, and that stuck out particularly?
It just feels I'm trying to figure out how to
Just say it. We don't mind. We know we're arseholes.
It just feels the problem is that I live in New York and so everything here just feels smaller. Even London.
Yeah.
And I think that if I didn't live in New York, I would be like so amazed all the time.
Yeah.
And I would love it, and it would feel very European, and London would feel so cosmopolitan. And I walk around London, and I'm like, ugh, it's quiet and clean. Give me back to the like noisy, dirty, you know,
Wow.
like the like frenetic of. But I love Glasgow actually.
Nice. That's nice to hear.
Just pretty noisy and dirty.
Yeah, noisy and dirty.
It's just
right.
small as well.
It feels
Yeah.
close to home, but it's also like denser. Yeah. No, it's one of the big things that I had to get used to was people saying, "You all right?"
Aye.
Because to me that sounds like, is everything okay?
There's a problem.
Yeah.
Whereas we never want to hear that. We never want to know the answer like that in Britain.
No.
That's the
You
last
can
thing.
say what you want because we're not listening to the response.
And it's like, I guess it's the same as us being like, "How are you?" Could be interpreted as like,
Yeah.
"How are you?"
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm never genuinely inquiring.
No.
No.
You're
All right
right.
is basically hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's it.
The other things that I really had to get used to, I'm not bothered, meaning either one, meaning like I don't have a
Yeah.
preference between the two.
No.
Yeah.
Arsed.
C'est égal is the
I'm
saying
not
in
arsed.
France.
Is that
Just
is
means it's the same. I'm not bothered.
Stu
I'm
doesn't
not
say
arsed.
it.
Not arsed.
not us?
Maybe that's a Scottish thing.
Yeah, I've never.
I think it's maybe that's one of those ones that's like a Scottish and maybe Northern English thing.
Sure.
I'm not asked. Don't know, they would maybe say that. Probably. But I can't imagine.
Yeah, no, I've
No.
not. I mean, I had to go back 15 seconds ago. One more time.
No, I'm not bothered. Is yeah. Because
Because-
what would you guys say instead of that?
Either one. Don't care.
Oh,
I guess don't care.
don't care.
Yeah.
Aye, that's pretty much our don't care, isn't it? I'm
Yes.
not bothered.
Do you know, I don't want to mention this the whole time, but the one that does man nut in America is I could give a shit, however, instead of I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
I could care less. Yeah, I could care less versus I couldn't care.
Yeah.
It should be I couldn't care
Yeah,
less.
so why are you just
could
saying
care
it
less.
wrong? What's going on?
But so is the idea behind that
'Cause
we're
we're
being
dumb
sarcastic?
Americans.
Yeah, is
That's
it
the
meant,
whole point.
Is it meant to be sarcastic or is it meant to just
No,
be-
I think it's just a poor American education.
The one that confused me a lot was you'd hear people saying "I'm very tan" instead
yeah,
of
it's
instead of tanned.
Yeah, tan.
Oh.
We would say tanned.
I'm
Yours-
very tan.
Yeah, I'm tan. I know. It'd be like my mate tan his wrists.
Tan the
means
bottle
like-
of bucky.
That's a stupid
What?
joke.
Forget it. Forget it.
I knew that would. I knew that,
It's
that would be totally lost.
It, as a comedian, to not follow a joke is the most crippling feeling. To be like, I'm so sorry.
This is a Scottish thing.
Also, I think crippling is a bad thing to say in this country.
Cripple is not a PC term these days. you know.
Right, but like, calling somebody a cripple is bad. But saying like I say like, oh, I was crippled by how embarrassing that was, or whatever. And Stu is always like, you can't say that.
Oh, really? I thought it was
Really?
fine.
Is it fine? Okay.
Maybe
to
that's
me,
me
that just
learning now.
seems so. It seems very sort of dramatic to say cripple. That crippled me.
And I want drama.
But I wouldn't necessarily say it's problematic, but it's dramatic.
Sure. It's sort of a sign that you're an annoying person to be around.
I think that might be why he's just telling you not to say. Just
Yeah.
don't say that, man. It's like, how's that show tonight? I was crippled.
Yeah.
How have you found? How do you find UK audiences compared to the US?
Maybe
ones?
a little bit slightly more reserved, but people really like made a big deal about like UK audiences are so much quieter, so much more reserved. I've had like plenty of really fun shows.
Turns out all your pals back home have just been dying on their
Yeah,
ass.
yeah, they're just bad comics. Yeah, no, I feel like it's the same. I feel like you have good shows here and bad shows here, and
Yeah.
like people who are down for it and people who are not, and
Yeah, and because I guess like the thing about it is as well, like because we get a lot of the people in UK for the most part will get like your cultural references and stuff because we'll get all the American shit.
yeah.
Whereas like it's maybe slightly harder going the other way, and then we realise like we're talking about some fucking
I'm up there talking about Noel Edmonds.
yeah exactly like some fucking reference yeah Yeah.
Let's not even bother with that. That would take an hour to
Noel
explain who that
Edmonds
is.
to explain Noel Edmonds would be he used to host
Can't believe he's
Deal or
trying.
No Deal, which is what was that guy
Do you know
that used
Mr.
to do
Blobby?
it?
I've been educated
He
about
was
Mr. Blobby.
Mr.
he was
Blobby.
his pal.
He had Noel's house party. He had a
He used to
helicopter.
be on
It's too
every
much to go
TV
in.
program in Britain for about 30 years.
And I'm like I
He
can't even
he
say
thinks negative energy gives you cancer.
That's true. He
sure.
believes it. He does. He
But is
believes
this
it
a real
manifested.
person or a character?
This is a real guy.
This is a
I've seen
real
him in
guy.
the flesh.
Yeah.
Mr. Edmonds?
Noel Edmonds. Mr. Blobby, please.
Noel Edmonds.
Yeah, Mr. Edmonds was my father. That's what he'd say if you met him.
No,
He's
yeah.
like, was it Howie Mandel that hosted
Yeah.
Deal or No Deal? He's our version of him, except for he was never a comedian. And
It's Howie
he's
Mandel, that
But was
baldy
he
guy.
in Mr.
Yeah.
Blobby?
No, he was like his flesh accompaniment.
And that's his real name.
No, Noel Edmonds is his real name.
Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Blobby, I think the real person in that is
Is
unknown.
Dan Blobby.
Yeah. Something like that.
I don't know if is the identity ever been revealed of Mr. Blobby. I'm not
I
quite
believe
sure.
I think it's a Stig situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is another reference.
Yeah, forget that as well. Sorry, Banksy.
Yeah, Banks
You're
is
not
a
Banksy,
better.
right?
Yeah, I know Banksy.
Banks is a better shout. Yeah, maybe Mr. Blobby is
But what did
Banksy.
you say?
The Stig is from a TV show called Top Gear, which is a driving program.
Yeah, it is.
We have Top Gear.
Okay, there you go.
You have Top Gear?
Yeah.
Do you?
God. I am holding on by my fingernails.
What we're trying to say is when you mention, Pop-Tarts, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and congratulations on your successful Netflix film about that, by the way.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That's
our,
Transcendental Meditation's fault. If Jerry Seinfeld didn't have so long to fucking think, he wouldn't have come up with that.
yeah, if he was a little bit more stressed about making a good movie, would have made one better.
I know.
One thing I wanted to ask you about from the bio, you probably just get asked this shit all the time because it's the basic research people do. But you said on there that you were like a debating champion.
Mm-hmm. Speech and debate.
Love the idea of that. I see it was in the news actually last week that it was like a Scottish school. They won like some debating, like they're like the world debating champions or whatever.
Great.
So it's been in the national consciousness this week.
That's
Wow.
congrats to you guys.
Yeah, no, but I'm pretty proud of whatever school that was.
Congrats to those debaters for making themselves understood.
Yeah, I know.
That's true.
Through their accent by
Just did a lot
whoever
of
they were
pointing
talking
and
to.
shouting.
Yeah.
But how was that for you? How's that as a thing?
It like made me who I am. It was so great, and then I left it entirely. And
This is a thing you did when you were a bit younger.
Middle school, high school, and college, and
Right.
university, all the way through university. So until I was like 21, 22. And then I coached high school speech and debate. But
So what are the sort of keystones of what makes a good debating?
well, so the
person?
problem is that I didn't do debate. Debaters are the nerds. Speech kids are the cool kids.
Oh, so you just delivered speeches?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I mean, we're not cool at all. We none of us had sex for a very long time.
Are you too busy speaking?
Yeah. We had to talk. I went to high school speech camp, and it was so much nerdier than band
Sounds
camp.
dry as hell.
Yeah. Oh, it's just losers sitting in a library writing speeches.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody touched each other. Nobody. There was crushes, but like nothing ever. If somebody kissed, that was like the biggest deal at speech camp.
Surely you could write brilliant love letters to each other.
Yes. Oh, the best weddings that I've ever been to are one of the two best weddings that I've ever been to was a speech and debate wedding.
Well, funnily enough, me and Mark need to write a speech for our friend Steve, the third member of the team. It's his wedding, and we're jointly doing a best man speech. So
And
if
how
you-
far are you in the speech?
I'd say maybe one sentence.
Great.
Yeah, I think I've got two lines so far.
When is it?
I'm just gonna say thanks for coming. You've been great. It's in September, but we've got the fringe
I'll be
to
your
get away
host and
first.
compere for you.
Yeah,
for the evening.
exactly.
That'd be great.
What are the? How would we go about writing a good speech? What tips have you got?
Say what you mean to say right at the top, and then just provide,
It's an
evidence.
obligation to
it's
be
a
here.
thesis.
Stupid lash.
Yeah. Yeah. We didn't write this until about an hour ago. Yeah.
Right. And then, because
And do you take these principles into your stand-up?
I was going to ask, do you take these principles into your relationships?
Yeah.
You can field both questions.
I mean, look, when I lose an argument in a relationship, it hurts.
Yeah.
It is a deep cut. It is painful. And I don't lose very often.
It's like when the audience member gets a laugh when you're on stage. You're like, "Fuck,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not even the professional here."
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't have anything funny to follow it up with, and you're like, I'm gonna.
Does that
I'm gonna
often-
break up with that audience member.
Does that happen often? Would you?
That an audience member is funnier than me?
No.
Pretty
I
often.
mean, do you often lose arguments in relationships?
Not often. I
No?
think. No.
You're pretty
No,
good.
Stu's great because he holds his own. I've dated a handful of men who don't hold their own,
Really?
who just fold and
But I heard you saying that you would do that almost on purpose. That you would get guys that you would have the power in the relationship.
totally, yeah. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, well, that's true.
What am I, some dumbass who rolls over and shows my belly? No way.
What was, I'm interested in the thinking behind that, because like I've been in situations where I've definitely liked the person more, and you're always kind of chasing, and I didn't enjoy that. But then also don't. I prefer. The ideal is to get.
The ideal is to have a balance of power and to have both people like each other the equal amount.
Yes.
That's absolutely
That's key.
healthy. Yeah.
How many percentage of relationships do you think that actually describes? 2%.
Yeah. 0.2%. Yeah, not very many.
But do you think that would maybe have been a defense mechanism in some way? Because
of course. 100%.
Because then you can't get that hurt if the other one. Because the person,
you can't hurt me if I don't care enough about you.
That's right.
And I can always walk away, and I can like justify any of my behavior. I can absolutely, total defense mechanism. Like, I don't want to be alone, but I don't want you that close to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you at arm's length.
Yeah.
I'm always gonna have an eye on the exit. It's like not a good pattern. You know, it's a.
I feel like I'm getting a cold reading done to myself right now.
Yeah, you always have a way out.
Yes.
You're always like running the scenario of, if we break up, it will be okay. I will be fine. You're like running the worst case scenario to prep yourself for that.
Yeah. A lot of nods on this couch. Yeah.
And do you feel now that like you've had to, or you have managed to kind of get over that and be more vulnerable, basically, to be in a more healthy relationship?
Oh, Stu's like far and away the healthiest relationship I've ever been in, and also it is the relationship where I think we both care equally about each other, and like, I mean, he makes my life better every day, and I don't think I've ever felt that in a relationship before.
Well, that's very sweet, but we've been talking about getting Stu on, so we'll get him on soon and we'll get his side of the story.
Yeah,
See if it actually lines up.
It's been a fucking nightmare.
She talks a big game, but she's a fucking disaster.
You think I'm not in the background being like, here are our talking points. This is what you say. You look into the camera and you say, she's amazing and has never done anything wrong.
You're like a political advisor.
Yeah,
Giving
yeah.
a brief.
Writing his speech.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
my
whole
speech
episode.
background, of course. I'm good at messaging.
Yeah, but because obviously, like, we did speak about this a bit at the live show, which I think was tricky to do in front of a live audience, because I certainly had some takes on it I don't think they would liked. But
yeah,
you, obviously, your show last year at the Fringe was called Cheat, and you were speaking quite openly about how in previous relationships you had cheated in all of them.
Yeah.
And well, can you talk a wee bit about that, and like, just I suppose also like just how it was to talk about that in front of people as well, because obviously it's a thing that I guess people maybe feel uncomfortable.
It's a taboo subject.
Admitting.
I will say that show was received differently in the UK than in the US.
Right.
Yeah. So I have a history of cheating in almost every relationship I've ever been in, and I do this solo show about it where I talk about it. And also like this solo show I do not think cheating is good. I think cheating is always bad. It always hurts somebody, and also it happens all the time. And pretending that it doesn't happen doesn't make it go away. I saw in Glasgow, actually, there's a dentist that has a neon sign outside that says, it's ignoring it isn't going to make it go away. Yes. And it's for the dentist. But I was like, this is also about infidelity. Yeah, it's I just think that it's like it's kind of the last big thing that so many people have some experience with in whatever direction.
Yeah. Being
cheated on, you know, like, or like stuffing down that temptation and stopping themselves, but it means that like they're unhappy in the relationship, whatever, that so many people have some kind of touch in some way, and so few people want to talk about.
Yeah.
And so thank you that was a very therapist. Yeah. Yes. Thank you for being brave, Chloe. I am brave.
It's true though, because I think this gets confused a lot in comedy where like, you know, like quote unquote edgy comedians.
Yeah.
Like say Ricky Gervais, whatever, he'll do a joke about trans people, but it's not actually edgy because he's doing
Everybody's
a very
talking
whack
about
joke.
it.
Everyone's talking about it. He doesn't actually have a thought on it really. It's just like a way to tick off that on his set list, and he's preaching to the choir in his audience. Whereas like no one really wants to sit down and listen to infidelity stuff for now. Like that's a genuinely
and no comedian wants
thing.
to say I have cheated a bunch.
Yeah.
And so, and I know that like there's a huge, you know, that there just will always be a swath of people who walk out of the show saying that I like disliking me or just, you know, it touches a nerve. And I know that, of course. I mean, I felt that in the room when I did the live show last year. And I was like, yeah, I've cheated a lot. I just felt
it was
like...
an odd context for it as well, because we were in like not a lecture hall, but it was a very corporate
It was a
space,
very like
wasn't it?
conference room feeling.
Yeah.
And I just felt 150 Scottish men who live in London like cross their arms immediately and be like, oh yeah. And I was like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because they're all worried
I'm
about
cheating on my wife right now.
Yeah.
You're not meant to be talking about it.
They're all worried about their partners back in Glasgow fucking cheating on them.
Yeah.
But No, I know, but it isn't. As you say, it's something that probably people have had experience with, and I do think that like we do need to like look more, because I've often thought, like, I've been single for a good while, and I think part of the reason is because I see people that get into relationships and then either do that, and then it's like, oh, that's behind the back and it's all hush, and which I think is dead. I feel it's dead horrible when you see that in a way, or people that are just not happy and they're like, maybe they would want to be with somebody else, but they feel like they're stuck. And I just think I would like to try and live a more honest life.
Totally. And like, I wish that there was a clean answer for it, but there's not. If there was a clean answer, it wouldn't be such a problem.
No.
And it's like, there are times where I've spent so long where I'm spending too long in the relationship, but I still care about the person, and I can't wrap my head around the idea that like, if I leave this person, I'm basically saying this like wonderful person is not good enough for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for something better. I feel like an asshole doing that. And so instead I do the non-asshole route and cheat.
Which, you know, they say it's no hurting anyone. They don't know.
I used to, so this is a thing that honestly this show like made me, developing this solo show made me think deeper about that, because I used to think that it was a victimless crime. I got found out like once.
Yeah.
And did it so many times for 12 years, I don't know,
Wow.
for long time. And I only ever got found out once. And so I was like, oh yeah, I'm not hurting anybody because they don't know. And then in retrospect, it's like, no, that's not true at all. I like receded in the relationship. They don't know why I'm being cold. I think it would have been better for my exes to know, because then they could have been like, she's an asshole and I don't have to feel bad about myself.
Yeah, totally.
Or like, I think cheating still does make you feel bad about yourself because it makes you feel like, I'm not enough for this person. But like, they could have at least like cast me as the villain. Instead, I was like, you don't know, and now I'm just unhappy with you, and you don't understand why, and you think that it's like something in the relationship. And sure, it is something in the relationship, but it's like we should have just broken up,
Yeah.
rather than still been together.
So it's not a victimless crime, but dumpster diving is.
Yeah, dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Dumpster diving is a victimless benefit to society. Dumpster diving, I do everything right.
And sorry, what were you going to say?
No, go
Mark?
on. No.
I was just going to say, you are developing that the solo show, you're developing that with a view to TV, right? Is that
Yeah, I signed a development deal with a TV studio, and so then it's like it's still very far from ever actually being a TV show.
it's great though.
Yeah. It's a good
Cool.
first step. Basically, if it is going to work, this is the first step.
Yeah, fantastic.
You met Stuart last year during the Fringe doing that show.
Yes.
At some point, did
Hard
you need to
sell.
go?
He saw my show before we got together romantically,
And he's like,
and he said, "I'm different.
I'll change you.
yeah.
I heart bad girls.
I'll fix her." Yeah. I think we just like, we match so well. And also, I've gone into multiple relationships being like, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
I have this history. I don't want to keep doing it. It's not good. It's not cute. It's not like, and a huge amount of it is, of course, on me to like do my own investigation and development, whatever. But a huge amount of it is like, it has to be in the relationship. We have to talk about it. And for so many boyfriends have been like, totally open, honest communication. That is good. I want that. And then
Also,
like,
I'm cheating on you.
I wish I would have. Oh, there are so many boyfriends that I would have been like, please cheat on me, because then I could leave. Then I could end this.
yeah.
Or then I could cheat on you, and then it would be fine. Then we could just have an open relationship, and it would be fine. But no,
Is that not something you've ever done or considered? Or?
I've like done it, but not in earnest. Like, it's like been at the end of a relationship, when it's like, really, you're just breaking
We're
up.
soft quitting here.
Yeah.
Not admitting it's over, but
I just think I'm jealous as shit. Like, I don't think I would really want an open relationship. I think I just never was getting enough. I was never getting what I needed out of a relationship, and I should have called all of that way earlier and said, or I should have just been single. But like, I think an open relationship is
Worst of both worlds.
Yeah, it's the worst of both worlds. Yeah. Also, you don't really get the person. Like, you don't really get, you're my person, I'm your person. Your attention is always split somewhere else. Your emotion is always split somewhere else. And I know that there are people who are in happy open relationships that would disagree with this, but
sure.
We don't know any of them.
I'm told they exist.
Every open relationship I have ever known that stays together ultimately winds up monogamous. And I know a handful of people who were in open relationships for however long. They're still with their partner, and now neither of them fuck anybody else and haven't for years. And they're like, we're still open, but we just don't have time to fuck other people. And it's like, no. I just think that
You don't need to be cool about this. You can just be in a normal relationship.
yeah.
Well, it's like, I think there's that is a sort of yin and yang thing. I think because it's like obviously with monogamy there is there's the classic problems that everyone deals with, and like people being in relationships longer and all this sort of stuff. That is all true, and so people maybe go, well, the solutions maybe to do this open relationship and polyamory and all that, but then that also comes with its own set of problems.
Of course.
So it's never one thing or the other, and it's like so I guess you've just got to commit to a path, I suppose.
Well,
Maybe.
Or to me, it's like the answer is you just have to be honest with yourself about what you, not only what you need, but like what you want and what you do. I think there was some like famous Viennese psychologist who at the end of why am I telling this story? I don't know. Somebody just quoted this to me recently, where some famous psychologist was like, what I have learned over practicing for decades is people do what they want. That is the end of it. And so you just have to be honest about what you are doing, about what you want, right? Like, I think that's what doing this show has helped me be more honest.
Yeah.
And I came into this show being like, I think I'm poly. I think I'm open. And then I did this show and was like, no, I think I'm monogamous. And I just was never fully honest with myself about what I needed and where I was in relationships.
And so you think that helped you get there, and you are now in a monogamous relationship, and there you go. So it's in a way.
So
and we talk about it all the time. Like we talk about like, ooh, who did you have chemistry with, and who did you flirt with, and who whatever. And like that's what I've always wanted in a relationship, or I think what I've always needed in a relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's so a part of me. And 4 weeks into every other boyfriend, it's always been like, and we're happy now, so we don't ever have to talk about this again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I get that. And then I would not talk about it either. I would not press it because it's unpleasant. Mm-hmm. It's work. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. That seems healthy as well, because like, obviously you can be married or whatever, for years, and then you'll be somewhere. Like, I always think about, obviously it's comics as well, you're on the road a lot, and you're out and, you're maybe in someone else's company and you got on great and all that, and like you're going, God, is this bad? Because like, we were flirting a bit or this or that. Yeah. And then, but to be honest, we didn't go, we had to laugh, and they were nice.
Yeah, and there's like some chemistry. It was nice. There was a little spark.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and it's like, it doesn't feel good to say that or to hear that.
No.
I'm always like, get away from me. But dealing with it, basically, Stu and I have the attitude of like, we are a team, and we want to deal with whatever happens in our relationship from a like team, like grounded as a team. Yeah. And so that means that ultimately, like, if we're going to be in a long-term relationship, something bigger is going to happen, whether it's like a chemistry with a person or whatever, whether it's something that's not romantic at all, something bigger is going to happen. And if we have this like established mentality of like, we are a team and we deal with this stuff together, and then when something bigger happens, then we already have the like foundation of we deal with this as a team. Whereas like,
it's like being a corporate entity. You've got like a mission statement.
Yeah, exactly.
Ethos that you can follow through.
Yeah, our mission, vision, and values are that.
Did you write the speech?
We demand excellence, and we prioritize teamwork. We use healthy tension in our. I used to be a corporate speechwriter, so
wow.
I'm like
just for Target.
For Target, yeah.
Which is like, that's like TK Maxx or something, maybe.
Something like that.
I know you've got TJ Maxx, but
no, it's like there is an equivalent, and I can't remember what it's called.
Homebase?
No, it has more things than that. It's
B&M. It's
M&S. It's basically M&S.
M&S.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. Target is M&S.
Oh.
That's what it is.
So what did you do for that?
But without gas stations.
No Wild Bean Cafe there. That's a shame. That's the name of the thing. The gas station.
Bean Cafe.
Wild Bean Cafe.
It's Mr. Bean themed. He's brothers with Mr. Blubby.
But he's wild.
He is wild,
yeah,
Mr.
he's the
Bean.
crazy one.
So what was that like doing all those corporate speeches for? You just did a lot of apologies, or what was going on?
Yeah. A lot of notes, screenshots.
Imagine seeing your corporate speaker at back raking the bins.
Well, now I think about like, if anything happens with this solo show, or like even if I were to get an off-Broadway run or something, the idea of people who worked with me in a corporate environment seeing this is crazy. I just had an old person who I used to work with in corporate communications come and see Cheat. I did like a little one-off run of the solo show in New York a couple weeks ago. And I just emailed him out of the blue. We hadn't talked in 6 years. And I was like, and I really liked him when we worked together. And I was like, hey, would love for you to come, if you're free. This is what the show is about. I think I like gave 1 sentence overview. But we haven't talked in 6 years. And he came and I was standing outside the door talking to people afterward, and we hugged. And he was like, hey, I'm here. And I was like, oh, thank you so much for coming. And we sort of sat in silence for a second, didn't have anything to say to each other. And I just went, surprise. And he went, surprise. And he walked away.
Wow.
And I think he liked it. We emailed after when he was like, let's get a beer and let's catch up. That would be, but he didn't say anything about the show. And I do feel like seeing that. I opened with a story about how I slept with a FedEx guy. How I
Well, he just came to your door.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like literally from a porno.
From a porn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I lived a porn.
How did that come about? How did you go about that?
Could you see him in the ring
Asking
doorbell
for a
and you already?
friend.
I think it's way easier as a woman with a male delivery
I would
person.
imagine
Yeah, surely.
so, yeah.
Because
Also, all of
you
our
saying
stuff,
to a woman,
all of our stuff here goes to reception anyway, so it's had to be lingering.
I don't think I've ever had a female delivery driver either. But,
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
next
just-
time, be like, you want to come inside?
But is that what you said?
There was like a couple. I was on a work Zoom and my desk was in a front of a bay window, and we like made eye contact, and he was motioning. He was like, I have a package for the upstairs and they're not answering. Can I leave it? And I was like,
And I got a package for you, babe.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
thought
yeah.
he was just going, can we go upstairs?
Yeah. And I was like, buddy, I got an answer. No, and he left. I was like, yeah, leave the package. Oh, and then through the window, he said, you're beautiful. And I knew the person I was on a Zoom with, and I was like, who, me? Oh, thank you. And then he walked away, and I turned to the guy I was on a Zoom with, and I explained what happened. And the guy I was on a Zoom with was like, you could be lying to me right now. I didn't see it. We were sort of joking about it. And then the FedEx guy came back like 2 minutes later, and he was like, I need a signature and they're not answering. Can you come sign? And I was like, I'm on a Zoom. And he was like, I'm so sorry. This is like motioning through the window. And then I went around. Poor Stu has to listen to this story. So many times, and he probably was excited to listen to this podcast.
Oh,
and that
sorry, Stu.
I've really
Sauce
been
man.
I've really been nice to him this whole time. Anyway,
As soon as Stu's on the couch, we're like, right, tell us all your shagging stories, lad.
yeah. Let him, because he never does. I never have to listen to him talk
That
about
should be
fucking
a
women.
clue. If he's listening, he should be getting a FedEx outfit, and that's a wee bit of role play you can reenact. You know what I mean?
Every time a FedEx truck goes by, he sort of has a little jolt. And then when I signed, he asked for my name, and I was like, I can give you their name because it's not for me. And he goes, no, you can give me your name. And I said, oh, is this just a slick way of getting my name? And he blushed, and I was like, the ball is rolling.
Wow. And the rest,
It's crazy.
we
And the
can
rest.
leave to the imagination.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm actually raging at FedEx at the minute because my flyers haven't arrived yet.
Ah,
And they
you want me
brought them
to call
the wrong
this guy?
address. Yeah, if you could.
Yeah.
Is he based in Edinburgh, this guy?
And a good
I can
one.
get him over.
I remember reading a thing about Target, and it was like, I think when they first brought out store cards, and they were maybe one of the first to do that or something, and then they got into loads of trouble because they started gathering so much information
Data.
on the...
Yeah, and they like found out a woman was pregnant before she knew.
They started sending loads of women stuff about babies,
What?
not before they knew they were pregnant. Like the store knew that they were pregnant before they did, because the analytics were so accurate.
Jesus Christ.
And that's like wild to me.
Yeah, and in inside Target, that's held up as like, we're incredible. You
We're
know,
very thorough.
That's a heroic story. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, to be fair. Did you ever need to write a speech about that?
Yeah, we're so sorry for telling you that you're pregnant.
Saving the money even on a test, to be fair.
It's good. It's good.
Right.
Yeah, Target is always saving you money. Now you don't have to buy the test.
So what point was this then? Because I'm just trying to piece it all together. So what are you studying at uni?
Math.
Math. Well, that's not what I was expecting you to say either.
Yeah, another
Americanism.
Surprise?
That's fine.
inaccurate.
Yeah, you say maths.
Yes.
What a terrible word. Why would you say maths?
Because it's mathematics.
I know, but just say math.
Nah. It's tan all over again. So you're doing math.
You can say maths.
You do maths. You're debate. Well, not debating. You're doing speeches, like corporate speeches.
Yeah,
and stuff,
I was
and
a
then-
virgin.
Yeah.
Why do you think I cheated so much? I'm trying to make up for lost time.
But where does comedy fit into this? When does
It
it
was
start?
after I got laid off from Target. 2,000 people got laid off, lost their jobs in one day, and I was one of
And
them.
they're all successful touring comedians.
Yeah, me and all my Minnesotan buddies. No, no, because I was in corporate speech writing. The woman who sat next to me wrote the layoff communications that was then read back to us in a conference room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we knew what was... I didn't know what was coming. I thought it was going to be somebody else. I came in being like, I still got my job. And then I started comedy a couple months later because I always knew that I wanted to perform. I like did theater and speech and debate and whatever. And I tried an open mic as like, ugh, what if I love it? I'm probably going to miss something great. Like, I don't want to miss something great, but I really didn't think I was going to like stand up. And then within 45 seconds, I was like, oh, this is speech. I've done this for 10 years. I love this.
Wow. And do you like? Because you seem pretty like well adjusted and stuff, and I don't know whether that's for your like growing up with the TM stuff and all the stuff you've done in school and all that. But like, do you find is it weird being in a world? Because obviously comedy is like full of not well adjusted people.
I think it has let me let out my worse adjusted sides for sure. I think if I was still living a like normal corporate life, I think I would be so on top of my like I would be so on top of my shit. Maybe I would still like spiral about, you know, Tanya got a better promotion than me.
Yeah.
But like I think being around so many mentally ill people really just sort of means that like, however, if you're starting from a like base of some degree of normalcy, you can get crazy and you do not stand out in this industry.
That's very true, actually.
I can't remember the context of it, but I did a show with Mark recently where there was about 10 acts on. It was a telly showcase thing, and he was on first, and he said something about how he was the only actor on the bill that didn't have mental health problems.
Oh, it's because I'm doing a bit about, you know, I don't, but like, you know, I do a bit about that, and it's maybe like slightly, you know, going like, okay, maybe sometimes.
Yeah, we talk too fucking much about it. Oh, it's annoying.
And I'm like, but to balance it out, don't worry, every other act in the bill
That's
is
funny.
like.
That's very funny.
Of which I was one.
Because I was listening to you on a podcast, and you said that you find it hard to empathise with like people that like have got anxiety and stuff, which I relate to, because I do feel like I'm like, just get over it sometimes, like, but I understand that you need to be empathetic, but
also I just think that totally you need to be empathetic, and also it's like there does come a point where you just have to make the decision to like, you just have to choose to clear whatever
get on with it.
thing you're spinning about, like,
yeah.
and you just have to, and you can have your strategies and whatever, but you just have to get out of the spin. And it's not, and it's funny because if Stu does listen to this, he'll be like, you fucking asshole, you have anxiety all the time. You spiral all the time, you spin all the time. And definitely, but I think it's like, I think we have permitted people to stay in the spin. We've been like, acknowledge what it is, and like, you know, like, I think the like, deal with it oftentimes doesn't mean end it.
Yeah.
And the point is to not, you know, the point is to have less of it.
Yeah, that's so true. And like, yeah, the permission to stay in it and to like, yeah, is exactly right. Because I think like,
or like permission to let it impact other people's lives negatively.
Yeah.
Is so annoying to me.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to like be open about it and to get help with and all the rest of it. But if you let that become your whole identity and the thing you focus on so much, you can ultimately, we're always looking to let ourselves off the hook with anything. And if you've got this thing where I can't do this because of this, okay, that might be true to an extent, but how often is it like, well, I'm just going to...
Right. And I also understand that like it takes energy and effort to get on, you know, when I'm saying like, just get out of the spin, it's like, yeah, it takes a lot of energy and effort to, when you're in a spin, it takes a lot of work to get out of it. And I know that. And like, I mean, again, this is another thing where it's like, there's no clean answer.
No.
I just find a lot of the way that we talk about, I think it's so good to talk about mental health. It's necessary to talk about mental health, but I think we have given permission to we've given permission to be annoying in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah. Here,
As
here.
somebody with mental health, issues.
No, I'm closer. I'm closer to you.
The
to be
two of
honest.
us are not crazy,
you're
and
fine.
you are crazy.
When you have a friend or a partner, whatever, and they are in that headspace, it is difficult because anxiety is irrational a lot of the time, where you're worrying about shit that you really shouldn't be worrying about.
Yeah.
So if you're not in on that, then it is annoying because you're like, well, just fucking come on, it's not that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that big.
To
It's
me,
not-
the thing
but you
that
know that you're being a cunt as well in that
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
because
yeah.
to them it is that important, but it doesn't make sense.
it's
I
so
mean,
infuriating.
So it's annoying for everyone.
To me, the thing that I just want somebody to agree with my worst case scenario, and that is always the thing that snaps me out. Like if I'm like, oh, like I'm feeling ugly and not funny and whatever, for somebody to be like, yeah, like I didn't know how to put it, but you're looking pretty bad and you don't have any jokes, is to like to take that seriously. I think usually puts it in such context of like, oh, that's crazy.
ridiculous,
I'm
yeah.
hot and very funny, you know? No, like I think it like usually highlights the ridiculousness of it.
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to tell Stu, I'm like, just please agree with me, because not because it will make me go further into the spiral. Like that is actually going to be the thing that will snap me out.
Yeah.
And he just won't. Sometimes he does, but usually he's like, no, everything's going to be fine. And I'm like, just say everything is not going to be fine and I will laugh. That will make me laugh,
Yeah.
and that will snap me out of it.
Yeah, it's like bottoming out, isn't it?
Yeah. You're like, yeah, you might as well,
Yeah, we probably are going to kill ourselves tonight. Lad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
Right. Just agree. And then it's like, it
Yeah,
makes you laugh and you're
stupid.
like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, because like I'm not like trying to make out as though I'm like perfect tonight, and I'm certainly like I'm a hypochondriac and I've got like stuff like that, and you know you do worry about stuff, but like yeah, I just think like my attitude's always to try and tackle it and just deal with it, and right, whatever it is I'm worried, right, just do the thing that's going to alleviate it. And
Oh, totally. I think that like exposure therapy is usually the like best and fastest solution.
exposure therapy.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
Is this an American term?
No, like if you're scared of spiders, stick your head in a bath full of spiders.
Yeah.
Steve he's got a fear of beans, and we'll try to get him to sit in a bath of beans.
Yeah.
So that I wish he was here so we could give him this advice. Exposure therapy.
We'll do it at the wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just obviously take a little bit of the poison kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. And I think, and like for so much, like so much of anxiety is like you just need to sort of inure yourself to whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
So commitment is. I need to
Yeah.
Can we get him
myself.
to
I just need to
expose
try
himself
harder.
to a little bit of commitment? Maybe take out a broadband
Can I
contract
microdose?
or
I thought you were
something.
talking about me with my commitment issues.
No. Can I microdose commitment? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, to be
work
fair,
yourself
I
up.
think
arguably
that's what
that
you
is
have
I've
been doing. Yeah. I'm not a fuck boy. I'm afraid I'm a microdosing commitment. I think you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
But listen, I think that probably about covers it. I would say for the ep. Thank you so much for joining us, Chloe. It's lovely
Thank
to
you so
have
much
you.
for
nice to see
having
you,
me.
Have
Chloe.
you
Thanks
back
for
on the
coming.
pod and on a public one.
Yeah.
So you obviously are at the Fringe until when?
My last show's on the 13th, so I'm here. I'm starting tonight, which
Great.
is the 31st of July,
Yeah.
and I'm all the way through the first 2 weeks.
Great. So you have basically like, well, this will be a week today, so there'll be like a good week
Great.
for
At the
folks
Pleasance?
to come and see
At
you.
the yeah,
At what time?
I'm at the Pleasance Courtyard Bunker 1 at 6:10 every day until August 13th. Through
Which-
August 13th.
Not doing cheat though, right?
Not doing cheat. No,
Doing a
this
new
is just
show.
an hour of stand up. This
Yeah.
is.
Sure.
It's like it's
If you want to see what Chloe would be like gigging in Nashville,
yeah
Mm.
this is the same stuff or
Come on
different
through.
stuff.
The same stuff, but like better, polished. Like now, I'm finally really taking the time to like
Excellent.
crank down.
Highly recommended. And,
Yes, check it out.
Where can people
So
follow
there's
you?
no, in other words, there's no emotional through line. There's no sob
None of that
story.
woke
This
shit.
is just none of that woke shit. There's no mental health. In fact, I have a bit about how it's annoying to have a boyfriend in therapy while I'm not in therapy.
That
So
sounds right up my
no,
street.
top to bottom, just gags.
Excellent. And where can people find you online as well?
I'm at Chloe Radcliffe on all platforms, like my last name
It's a good
Radcliffe, but
handle.
bad.
Yeah. I nearly introduced you as Chloe Radcliffe in London because that confused me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that meant to be because you're bad?
It's meant to be because it was the only handle that I could get across every single
That
platform.
makes sense.
But also I just think it's kind of fun.
That's cool. That's
good, yeah.
It's dangerous.
Look, I'll never say that I'm the good guy.
No.
I'll never say that I'm the hero.
A word for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
Squeaky clean, that guy.
He was bad. Anyway, right, that covers it. I don't know how to end these things. Right, thank you for joining us. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As ever, obviously, before you go, please do remember to give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can follow us at Some Laugh Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Obviously, me and Stu are doing the Fringe as well until the end of August. Steve has got some selected dates that he's posting about a lot, so please do buy tickets for that. And we are doing Some Laugh Live on the 20th of August as well if you want to come along to that. But aside from that, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Thanks very much. Cheers, Chloe.
Cheers.